Don't miss out on these early Black Friday deals. We got a major update on the future of Xbox Game Studios. xCloud just got a major upgrade. Is Microsoft gearing up to take on Disney? And this Xbox update lets you downgrade your graphics? Let's discuss. If you want to get your holiday shopping done early this season, check out the links down in my description because I have links to all sorts of stuff: games, consoles, accessories, you name it. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, I would very much appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, maybe set your notifications to all, and help me get to 100,000 subscribers. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Xbox Ready. As per usual, I have gathered a number of stories from around the industry to make sure that you are Xbox ready. Now, guys, the holidays are upon us, and this is an amazing time for gamers like you and me, especially this month because we start to see a lot of really awesome deals on gaming accessories, games, console bundles, things like that. And while Black Friday is a couple of weeks away still, Amazon is rolling out early Black Friday deals for certain video game items. One of the things that stood out to me was this kind of like pyramid vent kind of dust blocking situation for the Series X. Now, at first glance, I was like, yo, this does not look like a good idea. As we both know, the Xbox Series X, that runs pretty dang hot. And the whole point of the top of the Xbox Series X is that it takes the heat and kind of expels it upward. But in addition to having this mesh dome situation, it also comes with a fan that theoretically is going to take that heat that's being put out the top of your Xbox and further put it out of your Xbox, I guess. Now, looking at the reviews, people seem to like this thing a lot, but these are Amazon reviews, and we know that, you know, fake reviews do exist out there on this website, so I don't want to put too much stock into it. On the bright side, it does have RGB. You can change the colors. That's pretty cool. And at the very least, it looks like it's going to give you a spare USB port. This is on sale right now. It's 20% marked down for $28. Usually it's like $35, $40-ish. They also have a sale going on in this really interesting battery charging stand for your Xbox controller packs. I mean, there are a million different versions of things that will charge your controller batteries for you, but this one I will say is by far the most interesting look-wise. It literally looks like a UFO, straight up. And it comes in different colors as well: blue, black, white. Kind of like an Xbox throwback green almost. This one seems to be able to charge 4 battery packs at a time that you can then swap out of your controller whenever you need to. And yeah, while this is not like the best sale going on that you're gonna see this holiday season, I feel like it's pretty cool, and buying literally any rechargeable battery solution for your controllers is infinitely better than using AA batteries for your controller. Another interesting deal that I wanna highlight is this sale on the Blue Yeti microphone. This is for all my aspiring streamers, voice actors out there. This is actually like a streaming bundle that's on sale. It's $109, which is pretty decent because usually the Blue Yeti alone will run you about $100. And this will come with a pop filter. Very, very important, this pop filter, for those of you who do not know. It basically filters out all those annoying plosive sounds like p and t and all those other things. And it also seems to hook you up with a couple of Streamlab themes for your stream. I'd say this is very much worth it, a very fair price for this bundle. But keep in mind, Blue Yeti mics do not plug directly into the Xbox. It's not like a plug and play situation. So this is mostly for people who have like a laptop at their desk or a PC that they use in conjunction with their Xbox console. Now, a lot of these might be out of stock by the time this video goes up, or maybe they're not gonna be on sale anymore. I'm gonna have a bunch of options linked down in the description if you wanna check out those. Next up, let's talk about the future of Xbox Game Studios. Now, the Xbox Game Studios head, Matt Booty, has recently done an interview with Skillup's podcast Friends Per Second, and honestly, it was a very informative interview. Gave a lot for us to look forward to, gave us a lot of really juicy information. If you want all the nitty-gritty details yourself, I highly recommend going over to Skillup's page on YouTube, checking it out for yourself. It's episode 11 of the Friends Per Second podcast. Not only do they interview Matt Booty, but they also kind of take a pause for a second and they break down exactly what he's saying, kind of like a deep dive analyst angle. But for me, I'm just gonna give you the Cliff Notes version. Number 1, Matt Booty acknowledged that Halo Infinite did indeed fall short on post-launch content. It was kind of refreshing to see the head of Xbox Game Studios keeping it real with us, saying, hey, I know that we started out pretty strong, but just couldn't sustain the level of content that people expected from a live service game. He says, as is apparent these days with a game like Halo Infinite, shipping the game is just the beginning. There's gotta be a plan for content content sustained. There's got to be a plan for regular continuing engagement, and we just fell short on the plan on that. We have really retrenched. We have got some changes on how the team is set up. We've got some changes in leadership, and we got to really get refocused around the sustained content plan and making sure that we're bringing regular content updates for players. Again, refreshing to see the Matt Booty was real with it and gave us some hope for the future of Halo Infinite. Maybe they can turn it around, maybe not, but at least it seems like they're trying. Number 2, Matt Booty talked a little bit about Undead Labs' State of Decay 3. Now, if you are not familiar with State of Decay, it's an open world zombie survival horror game. State of Decay 2 brought a multiplayer aspect to it. You can play with up to 4 people in the campaign. It was kind of underrated at the time because, you know, it was a smaller game, but it was a pretty solid time, especially in a multiplayer setting. The threat of permadeath and like constantly monitoring if I have enough gas in my tank to get out of a situation was super stressful and fun. Combat, simple, nothing too crazy about it, but satisfying at the same time. Matt Booty in this interview says, "We want that game, State of Decay 3, we want it to compete visually. One of the things that the team there is really focused on is the animation technology, being able to really up for State of Decay 3, the interactivity between the player and the environment." So this kind of sounds like, despite the fact that the team is still small, that they want it to look and feel more like a AAA title, whereas I would consider State of Decay 2 like a AA. State of Decay 3 is going to be built in Unreal Engine 5, and we also know that the Coalition, the guys behind the Gears franchise now, has been working with Undead Labs to share their wisdom, their experience working with that engine. Overall, very encouraging. It gives Xbox fans their own kind of zombie experience exclusive, kind of like PlayStation has with The Last of Us. They're different, obviously. The Last of Us series, it's more narrative-based, story-driven. They do have a multiplayer component, but still, it'd be pretty cool to have a fresh, new zombie experience exclusive to Xbox for us to look forward to. Can't wait to get more information about this game coming up. Number 3, Matt Booty gave an update on the highly anticipated Perfect Dark remake. He says, "I think one of the most difficult things of the last few years has been filling a big game on the scale of Halo or Battlefield during the conditions we had. Obviously, it's been a crazy couple of years in the world. Number 2 has got to be starting up a new studio. You don't have the shared history, you don't have the people that have worked together for 5-10 years. We were doing a lot of experimenting with remote and hybrid, how we can attract talent. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. It has been less leadership changes and more just the work of building a studio. It's a brand new studio." So if we're taking Matt Booty at his word, we're basically thinking, okay, so it's not so much of the drama that's led to the delayed production of this game. It's more of like finding a cohesive group of people to get out this product in a timely manner. He then had some really good things to say about Crystal Dynamics, saying that no guys, they're not replacing the initiative, they're not doing that, they're not taking it over all the way. They're just kind of filling in some gaps and acting as a support studio. Hopefully in the near future, we'll get a more solid update, like maybe a trailer of some kind. I'm not sure, but it has been a while that we've been waiting on news of this, and the news so far hasn't been good. So this was an interesting update for sure. Finally, and most exciting for me, Matt Booty had some really encouraging things to say about the Fable reboot being worked on by Playground Games. He said that what he's seen so far internally from Fable has been super encouraging, and that he wants to show it but just can't right now. He also had high praise for Playground Games. Now, as a reminder, Playground Games are not the original creators behind the Fable franchise. That honor belonged to Lionhead Studios, which is not a thing anymore. Playground Games nowadays spends most of their time working on the Forza Horizon series. And so a lot of people had questioned like, yo, these guys work on racing games, they work on cars. How are they gonna make an open world RPG game, fantasy, like Fable? Matt Booty had nothing but good things to say about them, saying that they really understand the IP. They have a particular passion for it, is what he said. Now, the last we heard about this Fable remake is that Eidos Montreal is working with Playground Games on this Fable reboot. But I'm still excited, man. I love the Fable series. I love fantasy RPGs. I love swords. I love sorcerers. I like goblins. I like that stuff. So I am choosing to remain optimistic about this Fable reboot. Next up, cloud gaming is getting a major boost on Chrome and on Linux, including your Steam Deck. So this guy posted on r/xcloud on Reddit. He is a verified Xbox employee. He has the little tag, the little button that denotes him as such. He posted this thing that says, "Hi everyone, we just released a set of performance updates on Xbox Cloud Gaming for gamers playing via browser on Linux and Chrome OS devices. You'd expect a higher resolution and smoother streaming experience. These changes also complete a long journey of upgrading our browser gaming experience to a different streaming technology. You should now have a more consistent experience in the browser no matter what device you use." Now, exactly what tech they have upgraded to is kind of up in the air. No one really knows, and I'm not really too good at talking about that stuff. But again, it's cool to see that they're working on improving the cloud gaming experience because let's be honest, it needs more work. And it's also cool for anyone who has a Steam Deck to have that option. Hey, I have all my games on SteamOS, but I can use my browser to access Xbox Cloud Gaming and play anything I want through there. I don't know if this has anything to do with this most recent update, but I've been pretty impressed with cloud gaming, a little bit more so than I was this time last year. I talked about the other day I was playing Chivalry 2, and usually when it comes to those fast-paced action games, cloud gaming is not very good. Honestly, guys, I was shook. I was like, dang, this is playing pretty smoothly. I was connected to Wi-Fi, I wasn't on 5G, so maybe that would have changed some things. And another game I've discovered goes really well with cloud gaming is Persona 5. I've been playing that on the cloud. I just recently took a trip to visit my family back in Texas. When I got back home and I took the bus from the airport back into my neighborhood, once again, I broke out my iPhone, broke out my Razer Kishi, and started playing Persona 5. Held up pretty well on my cell service. I was 5G LTE. The only thing that was holding me back was, oh man, I forgot that I get car sick when I play video games in the car, so I was like, oh, okay, gonna put that away. But before that, it was running pretty well. Hopefully they will continue to improve the cloud gaming experience. Next up, we gotta talk about Gears of War, and no, I'm not here to tell you that Gears of War 6 is announced. I'm talking about a new Gears of War feature film coming to Netflix streaming services. According to the official Netflix Twitter account, they say Gears of War was released 16 years ago today, and to mark the occasion, Netflix has partnered with a coalition to adapt Gears of War video game saga into a live-action feature film, followed by an adult animated series, with the potential for more stories to follow. Every live-action adaptation that they do, for example, of any animated show, is just, none of them have been good. And I know after the Halo TV show on Paramount Plus, a lot of people are like, no, they don't want to see another live-action thing of their favorite video game. But Netflix absolutely freaking bodies any animated video game adaptation that they do. Arcane, banger. Castlevania, banger. Cuphead, banger. Cyberpunk, masterpiece, baby. Dragon's Dogma, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. But their other stuff, amazing. I cannot wait for a Gears of War adult animated series. But the movie, the jury's still kind of out. It depends on how they handle it. I don't want it to just be another cheesy Netflix action movie. The one thing I ask is that they just stick to the script, man. Just like kind of adapt what has already been done in the games. I know that's one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't like the Halo TV show. Same thing with The Witcher too. They're trying to get all cute with it over there. And a lot of people are saying, oh, that's why Henry Cavill's leaving, because he wants to stay faithful to the books and the games, and the writers of that show, they hate the books, they hate the games, they actively hate the games. That was the headline going around a couple of weeks ago. Windows Central also put out this helpful little article detailing all of the other Xbox upcoming TV and film projects. I personally think they should throw in a Psychonauts animated series on that list. We were lucky enough to talk to Richard Horvitz on the channel a couple of months ago. He's the voice of Rasputin Aquato in the Psychonauts series, the voice of Zim and Invader Zim, Billy and Mandy. And he was straight up like, I really want to do a Psychonauts animated series because Rasputin, he's not an official Psychonaut yet. There's a lot of story to be told. And even if they just wanted to straight up adapt the first game into an animated series, kids with psychic powers jumping into people's minds and into these fantastic settings, again, a gold mine for an animated series. Long story short though, we're gonna get a lot of TV, a lot of movies from these Xbox properties. I'm sure they're looking across the way, especially with titles like the Grounded TV show, the Minecraft TV show, a potential Psychonauts TV show, maybe trying to get into more family-friendly content, more so like Disney Plus, what they got going on over there. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments, because I know you are probably here for the games, not so much the TV show, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Next up, let's talk about this Xbox console downgrade. Now, apparently there's a questionnaire going around to different Xbox insiders, basically asking them, hey, would you be cool being able to downgrade your graphics and other performance settings in exchange for a more more performance, that will basically save you energy, save you money. Are you cool with that? Now, at first glance, I'm like, this is a whack, man. What's going on with this? I did not buy the quote-unquote world's most powerful Xbox, the world's most powerful console, to downgrade it or handicap it in any way, even at the cost of saving a little bit more energy. But that concept isn't too foreign to me. I remember playing Elder Scrolls Online way back at launch, and I would play it on like my crappy MacBook from 2011. So in order to properly run it, I would downgrade the graphics, I'd take off the shadows, I would just downgrade everything that I could so it could run properly. Eurogamer in this article details that Microsoft has some pretty specific goals on reducing its carbon footprint and reducing its emissions as a company. They say it's further proof of the company's goals to reduce its environmental impact and operate as a carbon negative, water positive, and zero waste company by 2030. Obviously, if you run at max settings, if you're really working your Xbox, that puts stress on the GPU, the components inside your Xbox, by really putting a lot of heat on them. The full quote is as follows: "Players appreciate cutting-edge features, and at times, these require increasing amounts of power consumption. We encourage and explore many ways in which developers can consider efficiency, such as areas beyond gameplay, like menus, lobbies, and loading screens. Our ambitions are high, and we recognize we still have a long way to go, but we're committed to minimizing gaming's impact on the environment because it's critically important that we get this right for the planet." Again, this feature is not available right now. It's not an official thing. It's literally just a questionnaire that's been rolling around to the different alpha insider rings. But I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on this because you all seem to really like stories about Xbox updates, software updates, and things like that. So you know your boy Ray is gonna be on top of it, reporting once we get any further updates.